He is an organizer of polyamory and open relationship events. And he is brand new, which means you're going to do a great job of welcoming William Winters.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. I can't see a goddamn thing up here. This is amazing. Man, that last story was like a series of really good Cards Against Humanity rounds, wasn't it? It was so good. My name is William, and I'm polyamorous. What that means is, I am in a relationship in which we have relationships with other people. Those relationships are often sexual. I mean, really, really sexual. And, when we first opened our relationship, my partner Anna and I, we were still living in Louisiana, which is where I spent the first 29 years of my life. And, we didn't have good poly role models there. I know that's really hard to believe. We didn't have good poly role models. Our friends just kind of intently scratched their heads in our general direction, like, what the fuck are they doing? Are they, like, about to break up or what? Like, we don't know. So luckily, thank God, or whatever you might believe in, I got a job here in the Bay Area, moved to Oakland in 2008. Yeah, right? I mean, the Bay Area is pretty cool. The Bay Area is pretty cool, and I didn't realize that we were moving to like the fertile crescent of polyamory, And it's like, all right, this is where things got started. This is really good. And so, we got to the Bay Area, and we started, doing everything like finding an apartment and, going on as many OkCupid dates as we possibly could. And, eventually we got around to deciding we were going to go to our first sex club to explore. But, we were brand new to the Bay Area. We didn't have, like, a big, huge community or a Facebook group with 2,000 people or any of the stuff we have now. Like, now what we have, then what we had was Google. And so, not good, intrepid, young poly people, we Googled sex club San Francisco. And I feel like one of the top entries, and they should like really pay their SEO person like $1 gazillion, but one of the top entries was a club called Twist. Who here has ever heard of Twist or like been to Twist? Okay, I can kind of say, all right, yeah, some people have been to Twist. All right, so Twist is I wouldn't call it a polyamorous club. I think it's more of a swingers club. And like the very easy distinction there is that when couples go, they tend to play together. They don't like kind of go off on their own and like meet people and that kind of thing. And so the good poly people we were trying to be at this early stage of development, we had a really long conversation. I mean, a long conversation about, the ground rules and, how it was going to be, like what it was going to be like when we took our 1st through 5th steps in the door, and then what was going to be like when we took our 5th through 12th steps in the door, and, like what happened when we saw someone we were attracted to, and then how the negotiations were going to go. I mean, we were being very good, stereotypical poly people. There's lots of communication when you are polyamorous, and I can see why people would choose other ways of doing a relationship. So we walk into Twist, like totally prepared, ready, girded against anything that might come our way, but not too girded. because, some things we want to come our way. And we walk into the downstairs dance area. And the dance area wasn't just a dance area. The dance area was like the cruising space. It's where, people went and like checked other people out, and where they flirted, and, where they could then invite people that they were attracted to go upstairs. And we all know what happens upstairs. Upstairs was a big, cavernous series of rooms with, a massage therapist on duty, and, vinyl-covered mattresses everywhere, and, pillows and fluff and mirrors and showers, thank God. And, it was, it was serious. It was a serious sex club. And so, but we weren't ready for that. We went downstairs, and we sat down on one of the benches around the dance floor, and this really nice looking guy who's sitting a couple feet away starts talking with us, and his name is Tom. And Tom is from Santa Cruz, and he's there with his wife, Jane, who is really petite, cute, long brown hair, and kind of drunk, and ignoring the hell out of poor Tom. Tom explained to us that, he and his wife went out there for their 6th wedding anniversary. Wow. They got a babysitter for the kid, and they went to do this adventurous thing that they never get to do. And unfortunately, Jane, in her drunken state, was really absorbed in conversation with another couple, Cliff and Sarah, who were really into her. They were showering her with attention. One person was stroking her hair, and the other person was lovingly caressing her hand. And Jane was just like, "Oh, tell me how pretty I am again." Well, Cliff was, Tom was, he was hanging in there, but he really was not having a good time. And so when Cliff and Sarah invited his wife upstairs, she said, "Honey, can we please go upstairs? I would love to play with them, and we can all play together. It will be so much fun." And he was like, "Sure." He wasn't really very happy about it. But then he thought, "Oh, you know what? You guys are really nice talking to me and Anna, my partner. Why don't you guys come upstairs too?" So we were like, "Sure, yeah." Totally ignoring all of the warning signals and the alarms going off, and, telling the story now, it's we would have spotted that polydrama miles away, but back then in our, we were still in chrysalis phase, we still had some maturing to do. So we go upstairs, and immediately clothes start coming off, and we split into 2 threesomes. There's Cliff, Sarah, and Jane, and there's me, Tom, and Anna, and we're all having a really good time. And I don't know how many of you have had group sex here. I don't know if that's a bingo category, but sometimes when you're in these big groups, some shuffling happens, and so some shuffling ended up happening, and Tom ended up with Anna, and Cliff and Sarah were together, and I was with Jane. And so I glanced over at Tom just to be sure that he was okay, and he was merrily banging my wife from behind, and so I thought, okay, he's good. So I start going down on Sarah, and she's really on Jane, and she's really getting into it, and she's writhing, she's making a little bit of noise, and I glance over at Tom, and he's paying a little bit more attention. And then I start using my fingers, and I start doing the little come hither thing against her G-spot, and then she's making a lot of noise, and then I look over at Tom again, and he's paying a lot of attention to what's going on all of a sudden. And one of my talents, I guess, one of the things that I'm pretty good at is helping women to ejaculate, especially if they've never ejaculated before. And I could tell that she was ready to ejaculate. Her Skene's glands were totally full, and it was just oh yeah, this is gonna happen. And so And so, like, sure enough, like, it's like I'm going down on her, like, I'm doing like the come hither thing, and she comes, and she comes, and she comes, and like my forearm is wet up to my elbow, and is that the 2-minute mark yet? Because I think this is where the squirting is supposed to be happening, right? So, okay, there we go, 2 minutes. Awesome. Okay, so she's like screaming and laughing all at the same time. Tom is like paying a lot of attention to what's going on, but he's still there, like banging my wife, and so I figure, like, I guess I'll bang his wife, and it was really fun. I mean, she's like really petite, and I like picked her up and she wraps her legs around me and we're like fucking standing up, and then and then we turn around to the wall and then like start fucking her against the wall, and she's like really enjoying it, and then it turns out that it's a false wall, and so it starts to fall over. and so I like grab the wall and like keep it from falling, and then we like start laying down because that's safe, and we ended up having a really satisfying time. It was really, really good, and I'm like, okay, everything's good. We like survived this episode, but poor Tom is just like he gets up from his position with Anna and walks over to Jane and grabs her wrist and silently pulls her away, and they just walk off, never to be seen again. Happy anniversary to you. The night went on, more squirting happened, lots and lots more ejaculating happened from like everybody, man, woman, puppy. It was just, one of those really crazy nights. The vinyl sheets, got a really good workout. But like this is sort of an object lesson, I think. There's like a moral of the story here, and I think it's that whether you are poly or monogamous or a swinger or at any point along that spectrum, communication is really, really important to making sure that you and your partner are on the same page and have a good time, especially when you're going to be merrily banging other people's husbands and wives.